The Huntsville Unit stands in Walker County, Texas. It sits close to downtown Huntsville, surrounded by normal streets, businesses, and homes. There is no dramatic skyline. No remote isolation. The prison operates in plain sight. It has done so for more than a century. Officially known as the Huntsville Unit, and often called the Walls Unit, it is the oldest continuously operating prison in Texas. Its history reaches back to the 19th century. Its present role places it at the center of the modern American death penalty. This facility is not the largest prison in Texas. It is not the most violent. It does not house the state's most restrictive housing units. What gives the Huntsville Unit its reputation is its function. It contains the execution chamber for the state of Texas. Nearly every execution carried out by Texas since the modern death penalty era begins here. When a death sentence reaches its final stage, this is where it ends. If stories like this matter to you, consider subscribing, because what happens next reveals how this system truly works. Texas resumes executions in 1982, following the United States Supreme Court decision that allows capital punishment to continue under revised legal standards. From that point forward, Huntsville becomes the operational center of executions in the state. Other prisons hold death row inmates. Huntsville performs the sentence. This division defines its role. Inmates do not arrive here to serve time. They arrive here to die. Most Texas death row prisoners are housed at the Pulaski Unit, roughly 100 miles away. There, they spend years or decades in long-term confinement. When execution dates are set and appeals are exhausted, the transfer begins. Inmates are moved to the Huntsville Unit only days before the scheduled execution. The transfer is final. There is no return trip. The Huntsville Unit does not need extreme security architecture to establish control. Its authority comes from certainty. The sentence is complete. The process is scheduled. Every step follows a fixed timeline. Once inside, the inmate's remaining time is measured in hours and days, not years. The prison's layout reflects its age. High brick walls surround the compound. The architecture dates back to a different era of incarceration. Inside, the corridors are narrow. The cell blocks are old. The design is functional, not modern. Unlike newer facilities built for long-term control and surveillance, Huntsville is built for containment and administration. Executions take place in a dedicated chamber within the unit. The method is lethal injection. Texas adopts lethal injection as its execution method in the early 1980s. The procedure follows a standardized protocol, although the specific drugs used change over time due to legal challenges and pharmaceutical availability. The execution chamber is not visible to the general prison population. It operates separately from daily prison routines. On execution days, the prison shifts into a controlled operational mode. Staff follow strict procedures. Movements are planned. Access is limited. The goal is order and predictability. There is no public spectacle inside the prison. Everything is administrative. Everything is documented. Inmates transferred to Huntsville are housed in a designated area. They are separated from the general population. Contact is limited. Visits are restricted. Final appeals may still be pending in the courts, but the institutional process continues unless a stay is issued. If a stay comes, the execution stops. If it does not, the schedule proceeds. The legal system frames execution as the final step of due process. By the time an inmate reaches Huntsville, years of trials, appeals, and reviews have already occurred. Texas law allows multiple levels of appeal. State courts review convictions. Federal courts examine constitutional claims. Clemency petitions may be submitted to the Texas Board of Pardons and Paroles and the governor. These mechanisms exist outside the prison walls, but their outcomes directly determine what happens inside Huntsville. For prison staff, execution duty is part of the job. Participation is regulated. Some staff volunteer for specific roles. Others are assigned administrative or security functions. Training emphasizes procedure, not emotion. The institution does not frame executions as punishment or revenge. It frames them as compliance with court orders. Witnesses attend executions under strict rules. Texas law allows a limited number of official witnesses, including victims' family members, the inmates' witnesses, and media representatives. They observe from behind glass. They do not interact with the inmate. They do not speak during the procedure. Their role is observation, not participation. The inmate enters the execution chamber under escort. The process follows a fixed sequence. Identity is confirmed. Restraints are applied. Intravenous lines are placed. The drugs are administered from another room. Medical personnel monitor vital signs. Death is pronounced according to established criteria. The time of death is recorded. After the execution, the body is released according to law. Families may claim remains. If no claim is made, the state arranges disposition. The prison resets. The chamber is prepared for future use. There is no ceremony. There is no memorial. The institution returns to routine operations. Huntsville's role in Texas executions places it at the center of national debate. Texas carries out more executions than any other state in the modern era. This fact is documented by public records and independent research organizations. The reasons are complex. Texas law allows capital punishment for certain crimes. Prosecutorial discretion varies by county. Jury sentencing practices differ across regions. Appeals processes are structured by statute and precedent. The Huntsville Unit does not decide who is executed. Courts do. Prosecutors seek sentences. Juries impose them. Governors and parole boards consider clemency. Huntsville implements the final order. Its function is administrative, but its impact is absolute. Public attention often focuses on crime, victims, and punishment. Huntsville exists at the end of that focus. It is where the abstract concept of capital punishment becomes physical reality. It is where legal language becomes action. The prison's routine nature is what makes it notable. Death occurs without spectacle, without announcement, and without deviation. Over time, legal challenges shape how executions are carried out. Lawsuits question drug protocols. Courts issue temporary halts. Executions are delayed, rescheduled, or canceled. When executions resume, Huntsville adapts. The chamber remains the same. The process continues. Staff turnover occurs, but institutional knowledge persists. Procedures are documented. Roles are defined. The system is designed to function regardless of individual beliefs. Some employees oppose capital punishment. Others support it. The institution does not record opinions. It records compliance. Outside the prison walls, protests sometimes occur. Advocacy groups gather. Law enforcement maintains order. These events do not alter internal procedures. Huntsville operates independently of public demonstration. Its authority comes from state mandate, not public approval. The prison's location matters. Huntsville is home to the Texas Department of Criminal Justice headquarters. Training facilities, administrative offices, and prisons surround the area. The town's identity is closely tied to incarceration. Residents live alongside one of the most consequential penal institutions in the country. Despite its notoriety, Huntsville receives less attention than supermax prisons or high-profile detention centers. It does not symbolize chaos or brutality. It symbolizes finality. Its reputation is built on what happens rarely but decisively. Executions do not occur daily. Weeks or months may pass between them. During that time, Huntsville functions as a standard correctional facility. Inmates serve sentences. Staff manage routines. The execution chamber remains unused, waiting. This waiting defines the prison's atmosphere. The chamber's presence shapes the identity of the institution even when it is inactive. It represents an outcome that cannot be appealed once carried out. The Huntsville Unit embodies the procedural nature of capital punishment in the United States. It reduces punishment to sequence and schedule. It removes narrative. It removes uncertainty. Once the process reaches this point, the system has already decided. Debate over the death penalty continues nationwide. Some states abolish it. Others maintain it but carry out few executions. Texas continues to enforce it. Huntsville remains operational. Its role does not change unless the law changes. There is no public access to the execution chamber. No tours. No exhibits. What is known comes from official reports, court documents, and witness accounts. Transparency exists within legal limits, but the process itself remains closed. For inmates, Huntsville represents the end of incarceration as an ongoing condition. There is no future planning. No long-term classification. The focus shifts entirely to the final days. For victims' families, Huntsville represents closure defined by law. The state frames execution as the completion of a sentence. Whether it provides emotional resolution varies by individual. The prison does not assess that outcome. For the state, Huntsville represents enforcement. It is the mechanism through which authority is exercised. It is where punishment becomes irreversible. The prison does not explain itself. It does not justify its role. It operates. As long as Texas law authorizes capital punishment, the Huntsville Unit remains active. Its walls contain no mystery. Its function is documented. Its impact is final. The Huntsville Unit stands as a reminder that capital punishment in America is not an abstract concept. It is a physical place. It has a schedule. It has staff. It has procedures. It has consequences. This is where sentences end. Quietly. Methodically. Behind closed doors.